I think it's time to put away that chair full of tools I've collected. Try to restore some order here, because I can't find anything. This is very exciting for me today, because I either have, or should have, I want to say, because you never know, every part and every tool I need to get the front end of the FatBoy back together. I don't know if I'm going to get it onto its wheels today, but we'll try. The first thing we're going to do, though, is press the new bearing on to the lower triple. And we'll start with a seal, a nicely lubed up bearing, and then the special installation tool. It's a piece of 1-inch pipe. So I got it in the press. There's my nice shiny new forks. Actually got forks that have caliper mounting for both sides that's supposed to fit the soft tail, because I always kind of wanted to add a second caliper. You're going to say it's not needed. I get it. For me, it's just something that makes sense to me, especially since I think it's a doable thing. All right, there we are, pressed on. And we're ready to assemble, along with the nice new top, and because it was bent, a nice new axle. So we're looking at basically everything new in the front of this thing. Fingers crossed it goes together smoothly. All right, here we are, the very first step towards reassembly, and that's getting this lower triple in. A nice new seal on top of this new bearing. Dirty hands, but that's okay. Now, here we have the new upper. We'll drop that on, and the retaining bolt. Obviously nothing's getting tightened right now. I'm just excited to have this thing, have the first pieces going on. That's it. That's what I'm excited about. You know, I really want to ride this thing again. It's just a great bike. It's just a fun bike. To me, it's pretty much the epitome of what a Harley Davidson is. You know, engine, frame, wheels, not much else. And I think that's the way it should be. You know, or at least for me, that's the way I like it. I'm not saying that it's right for everybody, and I'm not saying that everyone's wrong. They are, but I'm not saying that. Oh, there goes a socket. So I'm just gonna snug it down a little bit, just to get a nice, oh yeah, a nice feel. See, that's how it should be. That's how it's supposed to be. Not notchy like it was. Just nice and free. Now, obviously, I've got to set the drop, but that's not until everything's assembled. But it's a good start. And here's the first of our fancy new forks. We'll see how they work. I don't know. I have no experience with these forks, but I know I needed forks, so I didn't exactly have much choice. It was, it's kind of, you're screwed, you need forks. But I got everything new just to kind of take that out of the equation, you know. The axle, I'm fairly certain the axle's bent also, so I'm not going to take that chance. I'm just going to put a new axle in. Oh, here I am, so excited I'm forgetting parts. So, I guess that's a piece of advice, right? Slow down. Don't let the excitement get to you. But still be excited, if that makes any sense. At least I caught it just now. And not a big deal, you know. Just gotta, I didn't even tighten anything, so just slide it out, pop this in. But like I said, it's been a minute, and maybe I'm jumping the gun, I don't know. But it's been a minute since I've been on this, and since this thing's even been on 2 wheels. So for me, I'm just super excited about it. The only thing I don't care for, I couldn't seem to find them. I'm sure they're out there, someone makes them, but I could not find forks, replacement forks, that weren't chrome. And I don't know if that sounds crazy, but I didn't particularly want them chromed. I like just kind of the natural-ish aluminum, you know, that they were. But beggars can't be choosy, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, that's really shiny. These might polish up. I don't know. I'll play with them. We'll see how it looks. Looks has never been 100% my concern. Functionality is more important. But it has forks. So let's take that wheel, the new axle, see if we can't refit it and align things up-ish. It's starting to look like a bike again. All right. That's supposed to be nice and smooth, just like that. Just threw the axle in just to see. It's chrome too. Everything's chrome. Everything's available chrome. I get it. I guess that's where the market goes. But he's looking all right. Yeah, I've decided against it. I do not like the way it looks. I'm going to end up getting a whole new tin set. But that's not going to prevent me from getting all the rest of this stuff lined up. Make sure it all fits. This is just too beat up at this point. It's a shame. But you got to do what feels right. And in this case, if I've got the rest of this shiny front end going in, might as well, you know, make it all nice and pretty. All right, live and learn. I should have probably known to do this. I mean, I saw what the condition was, so this is not like it's a surprise. It's just, I don't know, me being silly. But that's not going to stop me from getting this thing on its wheels, because that's the biggest thing, right? To continue working on the Tour Glide, I need to get this thing on its wheels. And I want to get it riding, because I miss riding it. So we can deal without it for now. Mock everything up, take it apart again if we need to. Is what it is. Part of the adventure, part of the journey. I don't know. I don't usually like to say shit like that, but I'm trying to convince myself that this is okay. And maybe sometimes you need to do that too. All right. Now, front wheel. This is how my brain is not working at the moment. Front wheel, I think I'm going to pack the wheel bearings and change the seals before getting it in place. The wheel bearings on this are recent and in good shape. But one thing I did think was funny. So I bought these wheel seals, and they always came in a pack of 5. I didn't understand why. And I'm not saying this is the reason, but I did the wheel seals on this bike and on the Tour Glide. And because I had to buy 2 sets with 1 extra each, I now have 2 new seals that I didn't have to order to do this front wheel. So I guess someone's looking down and giving me some luck today. While I'm sitting here doing this, I realized the speedometer, the gear and maybe cable, kind of stiff. And I've sort of come to terms with the fact that this is not going together for the last time, but like, man, it's free here, but I don't know, it's just stiff. I don't like it. So I guess goal has changed from trying to get this assembled for the final time to getting it assembled enough to get on the ground so that I can move it. And I'm okay with that. I've accepted the fact that this thing will have to come apart again. Sometimes, you know, I don't have much choice. Sometimes that's just how it goes. You don't always like it, but if you don't have a choice, you gotta do what you gotta do. Let's see, I can get this thing lined up at least. All right, so that's lined up. This should at least now go in. Whew, still looks good. One thing with this bike is that it's been like a complete put together at some point in its life. And I think that that's cost me at times, you know, being unaware of how something's supposed to go together versus how it's assembled on this bike. I know that was the case with the rear swing arm bushings, bearings, whatever. One of them was seized, so I went to go change it, and I took it apart, put it back together the way it came apart, and I thought to myself, geez, I'm fighting with this thing a lot. Like, I didn't think it should have been this hard to do, right? And so, believe it or not, and I'm guessing some of yous do, I was actually watching a YouTube video where I watched someone else do it, and I went, well, they actually weren't doing the swing arm bearings, but they were taking apart the swing arm for a different reason. It may have been, I don't know, to do a drive belt or something. But whatever it was, I watched them do it, and I saw the bearings come apart. And the bearings were inverted from how I put them together, and the spacers were on the other side, and I went, oh, that makes a lot of sense now. So, you know, that's something I ever since then I keep in mind on this bike, that it may not necessarily be put together correctly. But I'm trying to correct any of those issues, so we'll see. So based on what I just said, if any of you guys see something to an extent, listen, some things aren't going to be perfect, but if anyone sees something that is like blatantly, obviously put together backwards or something, please let me know, because this is the only Softail I have and that I've ever really worked on. So, you know, I'm assuming that some things are correct when they may not be, you know. Yeah, I greatly appreciate anything like that. Oh, I like it though. I like it a lot. Yeah. Oh, I gotta try to do that test. Been watching videos on it. Just how we learn things these days, right? Everything's via video. All right. I think we're almost good enough to at least get it on the ground so that I can move it around. So I have the bar set up, meaning I have the bar modified for internal wiring. Oh, there goes that. So I have the bar modified for internal wiring and ready to go on. I'm not necessarily in a rush to put it on. That I can wait. But I'll put these lower riser parts in. Not necessarily tight, but in so that I have something to grip on, you know, to move this thing around. I think that's a good idea. Or maybe it's not. We'll see. Either it's going to be good or not. You know, I'm not afraid of doing work more than once in certain situations, you know, and this is one of them. And I think also, you're supposed to mock things up, right? Yeah, it's a good enough excuse for me to do this work twice. You have to mock things up. The things we tell ourselves. I think that, I don't know if it's motorcyclists, just the human species in general as a whole, but we can pretty much justify anything we want to do if we want to do it. All right. I like it. This new lower part of the tree has a bracket that wasn't on the original one, which looks like I can use to lock the forks. So that's kind of cool. Also, many of you noticed the Guardian belt was up here and that it should be on the lower part of the bike. So I don't know if it's going to stay there, but there we are for now. And for now, we're going to get this thing off these jack stands. Kickstand is down. Oh. Whew. Bike is down. All right. Very cool. Clean some stuff up and push it out. Oh, this is a sight for sore eyes. I'm very, very content. I mean, I know there's more work to do. I know there's still more parts to order, wiring to redo, but she's on 2 wheels and out of the spot she was in. So yeah, I'm gonna take this as a win for today. I'm gonna get to ordering parts and looking up some specifications, and we will continue this another day. Quick pivot if I'm gonna be moving this bike around. This is bent and the bar is bent. So I have a new bar and that's set up and ready to go. I don't have this yet, so I'm waiting on it. And I still have some other front end alignment stuff to do before I actually, start doing that final assembly. But since I'm probably going to be moving this thing around a lot, this made more sense to me. So I'll just throw this on loosely, nothing crazy, just enough to give me some leverage to push it around. What are you doing, idiot? You have a handlebar. Put it on. Well, you were right. All right. Yeah, I'll just, like I said, nothing too crazy. Just snug these down slightly to give me some leverage. And also because it looks more like a motorcycle with handlebars, even if they're bent. All right, one more step. I will leave you with that. And until next time, ride safe. Have a great day.